About 20?
That's not that fast, actually, for a boat. But the ship only went 30 knots. And that was the three boiler rooms cranking up. They were going to open up the boiler rooms.
The boiler room?
2 that we had.
Is that where you put the coal in there to get the steam going?
Now they're below deck, and you can't see them. You come down 2 decks down below. They call them guys that work down the engine room snipes. S-N-I-P-E-S.
Why do they call them snipes?
Because they're on below there.
Ah.
They never come up out the fucking hole. They're like coal miners. They get stuck down there, and all they do is feed fuel to that goddamn boiler. Crank up, get some steam up. Hot as a fucker down there. Like fucking niggers coming, like coal miners coming out of the mines. Hot as a fucker down there. And all you hear is them fucking steam go pump, pump, boiling that fucking water. They made their own goddamn fresh water on the ship. They had tanks on there. They condensed the goddamn water and turned the salt water into fresh water. That's how we had drinking water and showers.
Nice.
And for a toilet, you didn't have a toilet. You had a fucking tank. It was like a goddamn trough. It was about from here to the goddamn window.
And you shit, it goes into the
ocean. 4
ocean.
guys could shit on the hopper at one time. But it was a trough, and it had little tongs sticking up out the goddamn, and the seat was cut in half. They were 2 halves.
Right.
And when you put them in the tong, it made a seat. And all they did was a wooden goddamn half a seat, put it in the tong or the fucking tank, the trough, and the fucking thing would make a seat. All you did to clean them out, take the goddamn toilet seats off, just lift them the fuck out, and you scrub them the hell out. Tank, but if you got a seat where the water was coming in from the boiler room downstairs, fresh water, seawater was coming in, you would get your ass wet while you were sitting there taking a shit. Then if you got a seat at the end where it was going out, then if the ship leaned this way or listed this way, then the fucking water would smash back up and from the fucking goddamn seat in the middle. So the best seat was in the middle.
The middle.
And the piss, they had a little tank, like in the goddamn service stations or whatever, where you used to just stand and take your pecker out and just piss right in that goddamn thing. But the one in the trough is continuously running. You don't flush the fucking thing. That's running from the pipe to the outlet.
Trough just goes right into the ocean?
Yeah, oh yeah, it goes right out the side of the ship. So the fucking fish eat that fucking shit, so they jump on that.
And you eat the fish?
No, later on you do, you know, if you fish, but I wasn't eating fish, you know.
Why'd they feed you on the Navy?
Huh?
Why'd they feed you on the ship in the Navy?
Oh, good food. We had great food. The guy that had their own chef on there. And they cook all kinds of shit. Ham and eggs and everything. Baked ham and eggs. Every fucking thing, man. And all the waste, they threw it over the side. There was no garbage can. They just threw it in the fucking ocean.
Fish will eat it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Shit. There's nothing wasted.
No.
And you don't carry trash on the ship. Dump it the fuck over the side. Some guy didn't like a guy, they could probably get away with murder. No one ever did. They could probably throw the fucker over the side. You know what I mean? No one would know.
They would catch you nowadays. They got cameras and stuff. You would
but
never,
I say,
never get away with
you
it.
have roll call like every 12 hours or shit. You know, 8-hour day. When that's that fucking microwave saying, I heated my coffee. Hot.
Heated.
Yeah, that's what he said. I'm heated. Take me the fuck out of here. It don't talk. That's what I say.
The fucking computer. It's alright.
But I curse a lot. But that's not cursing. I'm vulgar. I got a vulgar. That's not a curse. That's still not hot. It's only a drop in the fucking thing. I'll just heat it up again and take it out later.
Yeah.
Fucking. That's short-term memory loss. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing that tonight. But I can still drive I learned to drive a truck before I drove a goddamn car. Goddamn gear shift. You had to put your foot on the clutch and put your foot on the accelerator, and you had to leave the clutch out slowly and put on the accelerator slowly. Otherwise the goddamn gears would mash and you stall the fucking engine.
When you're going uphill, you're
That's
fucked.
that's how you do it.
You're going uphill, you're
Oh yeah,
gonna
same
roll
thing.
back.
Then you would. If you didn't
If you
put
hit
the
the
clutch
brakes.
in the second time and put it in a lower gear. Because you had to use the clutch to change gears. If you didn't, you would grind the goddamn gears.
Mhm.
You'd fuck it all up. It's tricky. It's interesting. Now, the old man, he worked on a Navy yard. He operated cranes where you maneuver them down and pick heavy loads up of steel, and you had the crane come down, hook it onto the bundle of goddamn steel or whatever the fuck it was, and he operated overhead the goddamn crane, lifted the shit off the floor, swung it around, and carried it on the goddamn, the crane would move down this way and carry the load onto the ship or hand it down by cable, the load. The man below would pick it up, strings of steel when they were building the ships, food that were taken aboard and shit like that.
Mhm.
That's how it operated. Very interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Oh, very interesting. Now the rope, when you had a 3-stranded rope, they call it 21 thread. Each strand had three strands. It was twisted,
Mhm.
and each strand had 7 threads. 3 times 7 is 21. So we used to call it 21 thread.
21 thread.
Yeah, that's what they call it. That was one size of rope. Now, they had one rope that they used to fire out of a gun. It was like a clothesline, and it had a spike on it with the rope attached to it. And you would fire that from a gun, and that would take the rope to the other ship. And then, on the end of the rope was a 21 thread attached to that, a larger, thicker rope, which is about 5/8 of an inch in diameter from the clothesline. Then you would take the clothesline first,
Mhm.
pull that. Now that's attached to the 21 thread line, the bigger line, and then you would pull that and you get the 21. You get the heavier line. See how the fuck they did it? Now, when the ship pulled up the pier, you had a ballard on the pier. Now that's a big fucking hump like this, about this high. And on that ballard it's rounded, and it goes right down, stuck into the goddamn pier. The base of it is cemented into the pier. And on the ballard, it's shaped like a pear, and it has 2 handles sticking out the side like this. And when you come in, you take your hawser, they call that a hawser because it's over 21 inches in diameter. That's a fucking high rope, is heavy. You can't hardly pick that fucking thing up. And it's twisted 6 inches.
Twisted 6
And
inches.
that's the whole, or more. That holds the ship to the pier. Because the waves are lifting that ship like this.
Mhm.
And that fucking thing, if it didn't have that ballard to put that rope on it, the hawser,
Mhm.
it has an eye on it, the end of the rope. And you just throw that over the ballard. And then when the ship is lifting, the reason it has hooks on it like this is because you throw the rope over it. And if it goes up and down like this, the hook's on there, on the ballard. The rope could lift up, but it won't come off the ballard because it's fucking hooks.
Hooks.
That's why they have it. That's what we call it. I was a seaman, and I used to splice rope and use a fid. It was a long stick, like a big giant toothpick with a ball on the end of it. But a spike on the end of that, it was wood, made out of wood. And you would take this and hold it in your hands, and you would take the rope and put this fid in there, F-I-D, fid, and you would break the goddamn rope, put that between the 3 strands, and make an opening. Then at the end of it, the rope was split on the end. You would open those strands up, maybe about 5 or 6 inches, take one strand and push it into the rope, the opening you made with the fid, squeeze it in there, pull it through, maybe about 5 inches, and do that to 3 strands. And the other 3 strands of the rope that you had cut off is loose.
Mhm.
You would put that in there a certain way, and you would mend it, weave it into the line, and they call that splicing.
Splicing.
And you would get it to the same diameter if you splice it correctly, and you could roll it like this, not with your hands, if you did it manually, sitting on the deck with 2 pieces of rope.
You could roll it up.
You could roll it up in your hands like this. You wear gloves or shit like that. And that fucking would become the same dimension as the goddamn 21 thread.
Wow, that's
By
cool.
splitting it up, that's slicing the rope, they call it. Instead
So that's how you
of taking
fix
the
it.
rope, and this way, when you splice it, now the rope can fit through a sheave, which is the opening of the goddamn block and tackle, and inside that sheave is a reel, and you eye it in there and put it in there. Now it's on the reel, and now you can grab the end of that and pull, and the rope, it's easier to pull the rope to the block and tackle, because now you got a wheel on the fucking thing. So you pull, and you hook the end of that onto the boat that has an eye on it, a goddamn boat with an eye, and the hook on the goddamn end of the goddamn rope, that fucking thing. And you could even make a rope, a 3-stranded rope. You can make a knot in that goddamn thing. I used to be able to do that too. They call it a bowling on the bite.
Bowling on the bite.
And you can make the rope shorter just by making a bowling on the bite a knot. And that's kind of tricky how to do that. And you could do that with your hands. You take, say the line, the rope, this is like the clothesline now, a line that's thin one. You can shorten that just by making a bowling on the bite a knot. You double the goddamn line, about this long.
Not that long.
Because now you want to make it shorter, so you want to make it a foot shorter, so you double the line. You take the clothesline and you double. And on the end, you put a little, make it, fold it, where it, a string, it has an end on it. Then you take the other end of the goddamn rope and you put, make an eye on the end of that, round it off. And you put that line piece through the other piece of the rope on this end, that you have an eye made on that. And you just pull it tight at both ends where you have the knots, where you had the eye from the double rope that you put in there, and just pull it, the whole rope, and those knots you made where the eyes were, that you doubled up, would shorten the rope, and when you pull it tight, that fucking thing will make a knot so tight, it'll just like taking the strand, cutting it, and making a knot with your hand, an overhand knot or a square knot. But then when you make a knot in it, then the goddamn line won't fit through the goddamn sheave. It won't fit on the reel. So it can't go to the goddamn cable then. So that's why they make a,
So that's what I do to stop it.
yeah, that's why they have to splice the goddamn cable. So it would fit, it wouldn't change the diameter. But to shorten a rope, if you wanted to shorten a rope, you would do the other way. Make a bowling on a bite.
Make a bowling on the bite.
That's the kind of knot you would make it. Because now you don't care about the knot, because they're not going to use that line to go through a sheave, a block and tackle.